All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Varun Raj, and I will be your host for the day. So, a little bit about myself. I've been with Exotel for the last 8 years, and I'm a tech enthusiast. I've also been taking up various roles within Exotel, but right now I am leading the customer experience function for Exotel for all our global markets. With me, I also have Sahil. Sahil, a little bit about.
Yeah. Hey everyone. So I'm Sahil Rajput. So I'm leading the GenAI at Exotel. I look after how GenAI can actually transform businesses. So I will be here with Varun.
Well, everyone, thanks again for joining us. And in today's webinar, we will be delving into the cutting edge world of Gen AI. It's been the talk of the town for quite some time, and we have a lot of exciting things to share with you. We are going to cover a lot of things, and I know that we have covered blocked 2 hours of your time, but I promise you that's a long time. We're not going to do that. We're going to rush through it. We're going to ensure that we cover most of the topics, but we'll keep in mind the value of your time. So, in today's topic, we will be talking about two things: generative AI and voice assistants.
Yeah. Also, we have received a very good response, and we are glad that you are able to make it here in the webinar, which is so close to Christmas. So thank you so much, everyone. Stay tuned since we have an exciting quiz towards the end of this webinar, and we also have gift vouchers for the winners.
So, through the webinar, I have one request. I'm sure that this is a very interesting topic. There's going to be a lot of questions that might come up in your minds. Feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll be looking at that. We will definitely make sure that we address it at the right point. Do not hold back. We love questions. We'd love you to be absolutely clear about how Gen AI can help your businesses. So during the webinar, we also have lined up two polls. And the idea is to get to know all of you a little better. My request is take some time to just answer those polls. Don't take too long. Very, very simple things. So I'm going to put up the first poll for the day. And it's a little to know about where you come from and what organization you belong to. You should probably be seeing it up on your screen in a while right now. All right, I think it's come up on the screens. Maybe take a few seconds to just answer that. And if you don't see your industry up there, no worries, just put others and they'll give us a good sense of who is there with us today. And for those of your friends who has not been able to join, it's all right. We'll be recording this and you will be able to share this with your friends, your colleagues, and then we'll be happy to have more discussions about it. All right, couple of more seconds and we'll just end the poll. So if the poll is done, maybe we can just see the poll results. I would love to know who is there with us today. All right, I see that we have 43% of the folks from technology industry. We have around 21% from BFSI. We have a lot of folks from retail. We have a lot of folks from edtech. Great, we have a good bag of people. So we're going to make sure that it's going to be relevant for all of you. I hope you're going to be able to take something away from today's session. So today we'll be exploring the new kid in the block. I'm sure all of you guys have been hearing about generative AI, chat GPT. It's been the talk of the town for, I don't know, the last 8, 9, 10 months, 1 year. And then there is what Gen AI can do to voice assistants. And that's probably what we're going to spend a lot more time today on. It's, in my opinion, it's actually going to change the way users actually interact with businesses. We used to have a lot of AI technologies previously, but there's something truly different about Gen AI. So with that, I'm going to ask the expert in the house, Sahil. Uh, Sahil, could you throw us some light on the basics of Gen AI? How does it really differ? What's Gen AI?
Hmm. See, Gen AI, or let's say generative AI, is refers to a subset of artificial intelligence. So it's a subset of a artificial intelligence that actually focuses on generating new content. and it's draw vast data set to produce outputs that can be text, that can be videos, that can be multiple things. So it's used to generate text from a vast amount of data. These systems actually uses advanced machine learning models like neural networks to understand patterns of different data. They learn from examples and then generate the results that resembles the training data on which they have been trained on. For example, let's say we talk about content creation. Let's say writing a blog. So we can give some content to it and it will generate a blog for us. We can compose music. We can even draft code for it, for example. There are multiple examples, let's say image editing, image creation. So I think most of have heard of Delhi 3 just recently came out. So you can just give a text to it and it will, based on a text, it will generate the image, for example. So let me just show you one image here. So like this. So I just wrote unicorn sitting on the top of India Gate. So that's one of the example that Delhi has generated. So there are many more examples for generating content. We are also create voice media videos. So most of you have seen in recent news or in YouTube. So there's an AI model talking to you, talking on a video, on a marketing video. So they are not real. They are not real people. They are generated by the GenAI. So there are a lot of use cases when it comes to generating content, be it text, be it even composing music on your voice. So yeah, and it also, the best part is the personalized experience. So let's say from personalized marketing to, let's say, shopping experience to let's say tailored education content for you, based on how you behave, how you talk, how you read, and how you consume content. So our generative AI can be trained on it, and it can be personalized for you specifically based on how you behave and read. So that's more of a basics of GenAI or generative AI.
Yeah, in fact, I've been actually mind boggled with this. I use Instagram a lot, and I've been seeing news that's being read by humans who are not really humans, and the video is actually, the Gen AI is actually, generating these videos, the news on the fly. I think that's going to actually revolutionize the industry. But I'm a little curious. AI has been in the world, in the market for quite some time, right? We always have had Siri, we have had Google assistants, but how is generative AI different from the traditional AI approaches? Can you help us all wrap our heads around this?
Yeah, sure, why not? So generally, when we hear AI, so most of us think machine that actually mimic humans. Maybe one, let's say, that can play chess, or a bot, or let's say someone that can help us shop online, or even drive a car, for example, Tesla. That's called traditional AI, which are programmed to follow rules, recognize patterns, or let's say make decision for within a defined scope. So, but there is a new kind of intelligence on the block, and it's blurring the lines and what we thought machine could do, and it's called generative AI. And what is specialty? Creativity and adaptability, just two words for generative AI. For example, let's say picture a Turing test where let's say machine attempt to intelligent behavior, let's say for that being a human being. Let me just put a context. Turing test is you put a machine and you put a human for a particular test, and it will detect which is a human, which is a real person, or which is a machine. So actually, generative AI, GPT-4, which has passed the Turing test, so it's a very great achievement, to be honest. And it most of Gen AI, just doesn't pass the Turing test. Actually, it seeks to add a layer of what we call cognitive empathy. So many interaction, let's say, feels genuine, let's say human-like. So it can talk in a humanized manner. So now maybe you might be thinking, how is that different? Think of it as a teaching to machine to understand, or let's say predict nuisances of a communication like sarcasm, profanity, humor, let's say, or you can say emotion, sentiment you can predict. And there are many GenAI models. Generative AI, we only knows Bard is there. Genesis, Google has recently launched. We have OpenAI, ChatGPT. There are some open source models as well. Let's say Llama 2, Llama 3 is going to be launched soon. There are Falcon. So there are multiple models who are trained on multiple data. So you have heard of Llama 2 on 70B, Falcon on 180B. So these are 70 billion parameters it has been trained. 180 billion parameters it has been trained. So you just give some inputs to these models, and they will generate output based on the data that they have been trained on. So that's how it's different.
Actually, that's very interesting. Yeah, I remember the time when we had to, train traditional models, and to go live in the market itself is like basically sitting and training the bot, training the AI models, and that was very time consuming. And from what I'm hearing from you and what I've been reading about generative AI, it's really more, you don't have to really worry about how it's going to end up talking to your customers. You have to worry about what's the context that you train it with, right? Very interesting.
Correct.
So we have a question, and I think that's relevant to take it up at this point of time. How many languages does generative AI support? And specifically Indian languages.
See, generative AI supports multiple languages. If we just talk about OpenAI ChatGPT, it supports more than 100 of languages. So languages is not a barrier for GenAI. So there are much more languages that it is supporting, not just regional, but also international languages.
Okay, I hope that answers it. And I've also been hearing that while all of this is fascinating and generative AI as the entire concept is fascinating, I've also been hearing on the floor that you and the engineering team has been working on actually something very interesting where you're plugging in generative AI and voice. And how's that playing out? Could you tell us a little more about that?
Uh, Let me just give you a demo, so I can show you a live demo here
Oh,
if
I'm,
you
I'm
want.
sure everyone of us will actually love that. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me just call a number. So yeah,
Hello, this call from Exobank is being recorded for quality and training purposes. Please choose Hindi or English for further conversation.
I will go ahead with English.
Hello, I am Disha, loan officer at Exobank. This call is important regarding your loan account. Can you spare 2 minutes to chat about this loan EMI?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for your confirmation. We have not received your EMI payment of rupees 17,825. Are you willing to pay this EMI by your last preferred channel, Exogrant?
Can I pay it tomorrow? I'm not feeling well today.
I'm sorry to hear that. You're not feeling well. We understand your situation. You can make the payment tomorrow. Please make sure to visit the Exogrant to complete the payment. Let me know if you need any further assistance.
No, thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you have any other questions or need assistance in the future, feel free to reach out. Take care and get well soon.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so as you have seen, what I did is there's an LLM sitting behind this voice bot, and it is trained on a particular use case. So what I have done is I have given some instruction to the voice bot. Now, if you have seen that I said I'm sick, you can, this is my example. Let's say some user said something else. So it can be behave, let's say, empathize user in a human-like conversation, just like a real-life live agent. And they are not just this use cases; there are multiple use cases. If let's say in financial sector, we see voice bot that send out reminders for EMI payment, and this is not only ensure timely payment but also reduces the need of human follow-ups, and let's say minimizing chance of translation losses and preserving the context of the communication. Also, there are customer service. Let's say consider the L1 support. So now for most of the companies, there are L1 supports, L2 support, L3 supports. Now L1 supports are something that can be automated with the voice bot. So what can be done with our voice bot technology is, let's say there are plenty of data. Now these data, we can get those data, we can train that data on our LLM model. And now what we can do, so let's say someone is calling on a number, hey, I'm not able to use my credit card. So the bot will handle the L1 queries. Now let's say, and the best part with GenAI is it can empathize with user. It can detect sentiments. It can behave like a person. Now let's say if a user is angry, or let's say they don't want to talk to let's say a voice assistant, the voice assistant can also transfer the call to the live agent in case things get escalated. So,
So, Sal, so there are a couple of things that's popping up in my mind, and I think the Reddit demo was very, very interesting. It's got my mind running about the kind of use cases that we can actually experiment and actually probably bring to life in production with. Um, but I'm a little curious, right? Stepping back, um, so voice bots itself has been in the industry for quite some time, right? In fact, I have personally seen different experiences with different brands that I engage with. Voice bots have been in the picture. Yes, I've literally got a little irritated because it doesn't get to understand what I talk. But how does this change the game? Like, you know, the existing voice bots versus a voice bot powered by GenAI. What's the big change?
yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you are right. So, voice bots are there for 2, 3 years. So, what we are doing different now? We are just saying we are empowering it with GenAI, but there are a lot of benefits. So, let's say, for example, of a traditional bot. So, you have to define a static flow that you are a great customer, you tell them for a payment. Now, if user agrees or disagree, so there's a rule-based system that is in place. Now, let's say if a user say instead of yes or no, if user say maybe, the bot don't know what to do. Or let's say that I have said I'm sick today, can I pay tomorrow? So bot doesn't know what to do, how to behave, how to act, how to empathize with user. The training
So you-
cost.
so you're saying that
Hmm.
basically, if I want the old bots to behave the way this one behaves, I have to think about all the different possibilities that's there,
Correct.
our intent, and then go and train that bot so that that bot, and which is time consuming. Obviously, it's going to be costly, and
Correct.
then the accuracy levels are going to be lower.
Also, so there can be thousands of permutation combination of what user can say. So we cannot restrict the end customer to you can only say this and that, and customer can speak anything. And that's where our GenAI powered voice bot, which gives the best customer experience, which is not possible with the traditional bot. The training cost, the out of context question, and even we have a feature called guardrail of the responses. So if you think of a LLM, let's say a large language model, which is trained on billions of parameters.
So, I mean,
So
maybe you can
hmm,
explain that with I personally know what guardrail is, but the audience would love to know what guardrail is. Maybe you can take up a use case, right? You talked about the collections use case in banking industry. Maybe take another use case and speak about the benefits of guardrailing.
hmm. Okay, so let me just take element support use case that will best explain the guardrail. So let's say element support use case, we have a knowledge source, let's say from a industry of a company gave us all the knowledge sources on which the element support bot should be trained on. Now, if a user can speak anything, there's a large language model which is trained on billions of parameters. Now, that we can that LLM can speak anything. So what we have done is we have a feature called guardrailing of the responses. So what we can do is we can restrict the LLM on those knowledge source only. So let's say user speaks about something, they will say, okay, this is a response. If user speaks some of the out of the context, they can answer it. They can bring back user on the same flow. Now, let's say if they ask something which is not on the knowledge source, so they can also transfer the call to the customer. So these are the guardrailing which can actually so by this, we can actually predict that bot will not behave or let's not hallucinate. That's the biggest one of the challenges with LLM, that it hallucinates a lot. So we have a feature called guardrailing, which protect LLM to hallucinate from hallucination, and it can serve customer better. And yeah, that's the guardrailing
So
of the
I
responses.
think I've actually heard about this, the hallucination part. In fact, when GPT was publicly available, then people started asking her a lot of questions, and the hallucination came into the limelight. Guardrailing is also very important. And to put things in perspective, correct me if I'm wrong. So I can basically tell the bot to talk in the context of my company rather than going and answering the question with every knowledge base that's outside in the internet from probably from competitors, right? That's
Correct.
essentially.
Obviously, you don't want your bot talking about your competitor.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Let's say, for example, I come from sales, right? So let's say I deploy this bot for lead qualification. And during the entire process, someone asked me about, competition, or they say that, hey, I think this competition is better than, your product. Now, what would this bot do?
Yeah,
What would I get the bot to do?
yeah. What bot will do? It will convince user
Okay,
why
so
they are the
probably
best.
you can help us explain with and without the guard railing that happens.
Okay. Uh, with guard railing, without guard railing, it will just start explaining. So if see the problem with LLM is if you say 1 + 1 is equals to 3, and if you say multiple times, the LLM model will start, okay, this is true. We call it prompt injection. So it is one of the major problem with LLM. So you can actually inject prompts within the LLM, which is trained on a particular. So guard railing help with this also. So now without guard railing, it will start explaining, okay, I get it. This competition is better better than me. It offers this. But with guard railing, what it will do is it will say, hey, I am bot for, let's say, Exobank, and I am here to assist you with this and this query. Uh, okay, you feel this one is better, but we offer this and this from the knowledge source. So just take an example of a live agent. If someone asks this to a live agent, the live agent will try to convince sir that is there. Okay, but we offer this and this features also, or let's say this and this offers also, which makes us better. So the GenAI bot will also do that, which is, by the way, not possible with the traditional bot.
Okay, understood. Understood. So yeah, I think from what you're saying, I can actually get the bot to be plugged into the knowledge source, let's say my ticketing tool, get it to understand the context of every ticket, and then start answering the questions for the customers instead of the agent. Kind of like an agenoid, a voice assistant.
Agent Noid, yeah, that's a very good word. And but not just ticketing system. Let's say if you have thousands of PDF, you have PPTs, you have Excel. If you don't have anything, if you have a website, we can actually scrape your website and train the bot on it. So any textual data, we can train the LLM on it, and it will have that knowledge source whenever they are asking, whenever end user is asking something.
Got it. Interesting. You also talked a little bit about personalization using the voice bots. Now, I'd love to, actually get a little more deeper into personalization and how GenAI can power personalization. In the industry, people have been talking about personalization for ages, but I, for a fact, know that personalization is expensive at scale, right? So I'm
Correct.
going to actually spend some time on that. I want to dig your brains on that. But I have a question because we are on the topic of implementing voice bots in a company. What, to all of our audience, right? What are the key things that one should look out for if they're thinking about implementing a voice bot, especially powered by GenAI?
Hmm. See, for GenAI power voice bot, let's just forget LLM for a second. LLM is a major thing for a GenAI power voice bot, but there is also one thing called ASR, or speech to text. So, suppose in an Indian environment, suppose you are talking on a road, you are talking in office, you are talking in a cafe, so there are too much of background noises, right? Let's say you are talking, someone came with a bot, let's say it's hard to stop it, right? To take input from the other user. So if you just remove LLM, there's a biggest part called ASR. So what sets us apart also is the ASR system. It can detect background noises. So let's say if you are in a traffic and you are talking to a bot, let's say someone shoot up an outbound call for a EMI reminder to you, and you are in a traffic. the bot will simply say, there's a too much of background noise. Can you go to some quiet place, or maybe I can call you later. You will say, yeah, I'm currently in traffic. Can you call me after 1 hour? And there's interruption. Let's say you are talking, someone came. You will say, can you just hold for a minute, right? And it will say, okay, let me know when you are back, and then it will hold it. It will ask, are you back or not? So these are few things. Also, the accuracy part, that's the biggest challenge. See, with text is easy to get high accuracy, but with voice, from voice to text, the transcription part, right? Also in multiple languages, let's say in English or Hindi, it gets really hard to get the best of the best accuracy. If you don't get the best accuracy, if you don't get the best transcription, your LLM will not perform better. So
And
let's
I'm
say,
really annoyed when I am the customer.
correct. So let's say you are speaking, I will pay tomorrow, right? It will, let's say it will detect you don't pay tomorrow. So it will behave in a certain way. So the accuracy plays a very important role whenever you are talking to a voice bot. So not just LLM, it's ASR also, which plays a significant role in making customer conversation very useful, very interactive, and customer will feel, yeah, this bot is understanding me. It's not just talking in a robotic manner and just I'm giving this option. It is just interacting with me and it's understanding me.
Yeah, I think the entire piece of cognitive communication
Correct.
is something that's, it actually brings to the table, right? So, uh, so now I'm curious, like, I'm from Exotel. I know what Exotel does, but now with this entire functionality of Gen AI and our interest in Gen AI, what in your viewpoint, what is um what really makes Exotel stand out, and why is Exotel probably uniquely positioned to take voice bot, the voice assistant? I probably stop calling it voice bot, the voice assistant and Gen AI to the market. Why should organizations think about Exotel?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
And probably you're going to talk about three things.
Yeah, so see, Exotel stand out because it's a complete communication stack. And whether it's voice, whether it's messaging, whether it's conversation, on contact center, right? Everything is powered by GenAI. This includes everything, but I said voice services, messaging, conversation AI, everything. With use case deeply rooted with context. Exotel leverage this context. So, for example, let me just give you one use case. Just let's go with the support use case because we are just talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's say you are a user and you are facing some issue, let's say not able to pay you via your credit card. So what you have done is you have just, let's say on a WhatsApp, you have raised a ticket, or let's say on an email, you have raised a ticket. Now you are talking, now you have called to a customer service number, right? Now what will happen with our generative AI powered voice bot, which is deeply rooted with the context, because let's say there are multiple businesses here who might be using one or two channels from us. So let's say with all the channels is powered by us. Now, when you call a voice bot, voice assistant, it will not say, okay, yeah, tell me how may I help you. You will get frustrated. You will say, I have already raised it on the WhatsApp. I have already raised on email. I have already raised on multiple social media. Why you are not able to get it, right? So for a
And
user,
obviously the system knows who's calling.
correct. Obviously, because they have the number, they are registered user. We also know that there is a ticket raised from this email or this phone number from WhatsApp. Correct. Now, what if I will tell you when you call our GenAI powered voice bot, it will say, "Yeah, I can see you have already raised a ticket. Your credit card is not working. I can help you with that, or is anything else you are looking for?" Now, for a customer, it's a very good experience. It feels like, yeah, that I matter to a company. Uh, right? My experiences matter for them. Now, customer will be calm first of all because he or she doesn't have to explain the whole scenario again to a bot. So it will say, "Yeah, my credit card is blocked. I have already raised it multiple times. Can you help me?" Uh, let's say it's not a L1 query. If it's L1 query, bot will solve it. Now the bot will say, "Okay, you have already raised it. So I think let me just connect you with a live agent so he can assist you better. He or she can assist you better." So it can detect the emotion of it, that customer is already frustrated with raising at so many places. Now just connect them with a live agent, so they will have a better experience, something like this.
So I think one of the points that you're mentioning is because the conversations are powered now through Exotel,
Correct.
this becomes a feedback loop to the voice bot to understand who is the person who's calling in, who am I interacting with regards to my organization, and then have a meaningful conversation with that guy, right?
Correct.
So the entire
Not
context.
not just context. Yeah, context is the one part. So see, Gen AI, let's say when we talk about LLM, is very costly. So they are not cheap.
Hmm.
So we have a product called Exomind.
Okay.
What it will do is it helps you with everything. Let's say decision making, cost, how it is helping. So let's say we know that whatever the user queried about, it can be answered by this LLM, or let's say another LLM, or let's say by NLP. So
Hmm.
it will help you in cost reduction. So it's not like this. Every call is going to the LLM, and now
LLM. Yeah.
LLM model, and then you are getting paid cost for all the queries. You are getting paid for all the queries. But you can, if some of the query goes to NLP, or let's say some cheaper model, right? So there are many multiple models. Let's say T5 model is there by Google, which is the best for summarization. So I
Hmm.
won't use ChatGPT.
Hmm.
I'll use T5 model for summarization. So it's
And
an intelligent.
this is something that's already there in ground up in the Exotel stack, is it?
Correct. So it's an intelligent layer that is powered the entire stack of Exotel. So it's an intelligent layer. So it will detect, okay, this is there. And not just this, whether it's, let's say, summarization, translation, transcription, making some decision, right? Or choosing a LLM to reduce cost for an organization, because that's going to be a big challenge for anyone who are implementing it with GenAI. The cost part is huge. You get charged for per token, for per 1,000 token usage. So you can't predict how much. It's hard to predict how much cost that you will get for, let's say, a particular context or particular conversation. So that's where our Exomind intelligent layer comes to a picture.
Got it. Understood. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. I think probably one of the biggest key takeaways is also while implementing GenAI models, people should see which is a partner that can help you make it commercially viable for your business, because everything is going to result in some kind of dollar value, right? And commercial viability is absolutely important. I completely agree with you, Sal. So I'm also seeing that some of the folks that's joined us today want to know a little more use cases, right? Maybe we'd spend the next 5-10 minutes on use cases, and I'm going to ask a use case on the banking industry. So uh, let's take now, in the entire cycle, right? There's the lead qualification cycle. There's the customer engagement cycle, which is where the relationship managers keep talking to the, and trying to upsell products, cross-sell products. And then there's the retention cycle. And then we have the support cycle. So can you give us some use cases that comes top of your mind, might be relevant for banks?
Yeah, for banks, there are few use cases that I have already shared. Collection use cases there,
Hmm.
support use case there. There's a very good use case of lead qualification. And so lead qualification is really important, right? So you have to call a customer, you have to get if he's interested or if she is interested or not, right? They can be in any mood. So lead qualification is the biggest thing. So where you can run an outbound call from our Exo campaign, which is tightly integrated with our voice assistant also. So you can just run an outbound campaign for a lead qualification. We can integrate APIs at any level. That's the best part of us. So let's say even customers say, yes, I'm interested. Now they are not following up the question and cuts the call. We know that this customer is interested, so we can arrange a call back.
Understood.
Yeah, so this is how we are tightly coupled with our other products. There are
Understood. Yeah,
few.
I think I've actually seen one of the internal demos where the voice assistant is actually talking to the customer, and it hands it off to the actual agent or the sales executive, and the sales executive gets a summary of the entire conversation, that the bot had with the customer. So
Correct.
before the handoff, and that was something that from a business perspective, I come from the business background, and from the business perspective, it made total sense, right? Typically, even in today's world, when leads are handed off from one team or one function to the other, some context gets missed out. And summarization was something I got goosebumps on. Yeah. So maybe also, because we're going to talk about the banking industry, there was one question that came up, and I thought it's very relevant. Um, can these LLM models be deployed on-prem? And you can totally imagine the reason why people are asking this question,
Correct.
right?
Correct. See, there are multiple LLM models. One is the paid LLM, another is open source LLM. So open source LLM like Llama 2, Falcon, these are on-prem. So we can run up an instance, we can deploy these models. There are paid LLMs, like let's say ChatGPT. So Azure, as we all know, Microsoft heavily invested in OpenAI now, and they offers OpenAI ChatGPT as a service on Azure also. So Azure is there, so which is best for the enterprises. So there are a few open source use cases that can be deployed. There are multiple, let's say ChatGPT and others, which can't be deployed on-prem, but it can be used from services like Azure, which are trusted by many enterprises.
Okay, understood. So there are models that's available that can be deployed on-prem.
Correct.
Understood. So okay, so I'm going to take one more question before we move on to the rest, and then we can come back to the questions in the interest of time. So there was a question that was asked on again on banking, what could be the biggest challenge to voice recognition systems in the banking industry or in banking systems?
Biggest challenge, yeah, the accuracy part in voice recognition that I
Yeah,
have
I'm
just
assuming multiple like dialects and languages.
multiple dialects, slangs, languages, multilingual, and detecting the speech with the highest accuracy in multiple languages is actually a very difficult technology problem, if
And
you
does
ask me.
generative AI kind of help solve some of these concerns from the traditional
Now,
methods?
not just actually GenAI is not helping us in solving that problem. That's where our ASR system comes to a play.
Ah.
So ASR plays as I have already said, ASR play a very big role in a successful conversation, if you ask me. GenAI is there, which can actually generate a content based on the transcription or test that the ASR has provided to it, right? But ASR is there for reducing the error in the transcription and providing the best customer experience.
Interesting. So I think we will come back to the questions once again. So I think we covered on why Exotel is probably uniquely positioned once it comes to the implementation of GenAI. I'm hearing that the team has also got a series of discussions aligned so we can educate our customer base. Now, overall, in your experience, Sahil, how effective will be Gen AI for the industry? And do you think it makes sense for one industry over the other, or would you encourage every industry to explore the possibilities of deploying Gen AI?
See, with GenAI, there are thousands of possibilities, and it's not just restricted to one industry. So it can be a banking industry, it can be a healthcare industry. So, for example, uh, if you ask me, let's say in a healthcare industry, there can be use cases like doctor's appointment. User can call on a number, can say, yeah, I have this and this feeling, I'm not feeling well, I'm vomiting or something. Now it will suggest, okay, you need a doctor or with this specialty. So where you live? So I live in, let's say, in Gurgaon. Okay, so they have these few hospitals nearby. You can go there. So when you are planning to go, I will say, yeah, I can go there. We can now call the APIs. We can check, okay, if this doctor is available at that time or not. Or we can pass on the slots. Okay, this doctor is available at 5 to 6. The user will say, no, I'm not available 5 to 6. Can we do it tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow this doctor available on this slot. Which slot do you want? Yeah, I want this slot. That's okay. So not just banking, financial, this can be on healthcare, It can be on multiple sectors.
Actually, Sal, very, very interesting. In fact, there was a hackathon recently in Exotel, right? And I remember one of the teams asking a very interesting question. I've never gone to a doctor's office, got a prescription for my illness, and later the doctor never followed up whether the illness actually worked. I mean, the prescription actually worked or not, did it cure me or not. And I think, see, that's what I was saying. I think it's problems of personalization at scale. It's simply not commercially viable. But probably with Gen AI, such user journeys, which we probably imagined of before, is now becoming commercially viable. And I think, in my honest opinion, I think that's where the true power of Gen AI comes in. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. There was a question on use cases for FMCG businesses. Have you come across use cases that might be relevant for this FMCG business? And in fact, I think there's also been a related question to that in the distribution network, which I'm assuming is the FMCG distribution network. Physical interactions are quite high. How can Gen AI help? Was a question as well.
See, volume is never a challenge for us. So interaction can be, there can be n numbers of calls that can happen on daily basis. So volume is not a problem. We can talk more about on the use cases. I haven't came across on FMG use cases as of now, but we can think around it. I think there might be some multiple
So I
possibilities.
think one of the things I would probably like to add there, and I've been, as I said, I'm a tech enthusiast. I love reading about some of the interesting use cases that we saw in the FMCG sector was mostly related to the video footage tracking and analysis, which is where, and especially in the retail industry, right? You understand what the the shopper is doing, which retail outlet, what's the path that he's taking while going through the retail outlet, etc. And this gets fed in for your FMCG how your goods are placed in the racks, what should be the pop that should be used, etc. So that was something that was very interesting to me, but probably not more from video analytics perspective, not from voice AI perspective.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, absolutely. Not from a voice assistant perspective, but there can be multiple possibility with the Gen AI. Let's say analysis part, insight part that as you have shared. So there are multiple possibility with Gen AI, but not just a voice assistant. So yeah.
Great. So I think more questions are coming in. We'll take that now up once we move to the session where we have the Q&A. Sahil, what else? I believe you have anything else to share with us? Because I definitely have one poll that I want to run with the audience. It's been roughly around 45 minutes since we started the session, and I'd love to know what people think about Gen AI. But Sahil, before that, do you have anything to share with us?
No, I think we can go with the poll.
So let's get all of you guys to look at the poll. It's a simple thing. You have heard about what generative AI can do. What are the possibilities? What's the possibilities with voice bots? Now, in your mind, what is the impact that can do when it comes to the overheads that can be reduced in terms of human manpower? We'll take a couple of seconds for all of you guys to answer. And folks, we have up next, we have a rapid fire round coming up. As we announced, we have gift vouchers for all the folks, 5 folks, that's going to be the lucky winners. So stay tuned and we will come up with that shortly. All right, I think we are going to close the poll in the next 5 seconds. And I would request folks to just put up the all right. So I think around 56% believe that the agent reduction can be between 40 to 70%. Sorry, actually between 30 to 70%, while 11% believes that over 70% of reduction can happen, and 23% feel that it's only going to be up to 20% of reduction. So it's a very encouraging, and I think it's all about actually deploying it. And there's a big question that everyone is talking about, right? will Gen AI replace humans in work? You know, I have my viewpoints on it. I think Gen AI is an amazing technology. It's going to make sure that all of us as humans are going to go up in the value chain. And generative AI is going to take up the other tasks that could potentially be replaced by computers. There's something that one of our co-founders, Ishwar, keeps saying: a computer should do what a computer can do, right? And we should do everything that a computer can't do. And today is the world where generative AI can take up some of the tasks that humans can do, already do. And so probably we're going to go up the value chain now. And that's going to enable a lot of people. And in the entire process, efficiency is going to come into various functions or customer lifecycle journeys, is what I believe. I personally am a person who has been irritated with voice bots. But now with the entire all the demos and all the I'm a critic of voice bots. And I am right now in a state that I believe, yes, there is hope for voice bots with generative AI plugged in. So
So,
that's what I believe.
okay, I think that's a very interesting thought, Varun. So, I have a question. So, let's say, what do you think how it will benefit the customers, or let's say improve their life?
Okay, so I'll give you an example, right? Lead qualification is, we as a company, we get a lot of inbound leads and, interest. And sometimes to go through them and to do justice to them is very difficult, because you'll have to enable a lot of folks to, kind of sit out and reach out to them and do justice to them. I see Gen AI being able to help me out there, not to irritate the customers, to properly qualify them and bring them up in the funnel. I see use cases where it will enable or assist my folks to have more meaningful conversations with customers and increase the amount of customers that they're handling, right? So, uh, imagine okay. Let's say, for example, I'm a relationship manager in a bank, and I want to come in, and I'm your relationship manager. I want to come and sell you a home loan. You're a banking customer with us. Now, before coming and talking to you, I will definitely look at your profile, go through the entire data. But what if I could just come and ask a question to my internal Gen AI tool, saying that, hey, tell me a little bit more about Sahil and his experience with my bank. How has it been over the last 3 months? Do you think I can sell um, a house loan to him? Maybe it figures out that yes, Sahil has been, renting out a flat. His experience over the bank with the bank has been really good. His savings account is doing really well. And it says, yes, go and try to pitch this product. These are the key points to talk about. It's about assisting my conversation and helping me to be ready with you. That's going to increase the productivity and the efficiency of banks out there. It's going to increase the productivity of technology companies out there, of retail companies out there, manufacturing companies out there. I think that's where we see productivity increase, efficiency increase, more meaningful conversations is what I think will happen.
No, I think that's an amazing use case that you have shared. I think I am also able to now think multiple use cases. Let's say there are marketing use cases. I think each customer is different. Each customer conversation with the company is different. So how to pitch a new customer, your existing customer, or new customer in a certain way that the customer is interested in, let's say, buying more from you, or having a good customer experience. So there can be multiple scenarios there, which I think that is possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a very interesting point. What if I'm a brand, and there was a question that got me thinking. The question was, any use case related to a company in the media and advertising industry, and especially in B2B sector. I thought of a use case where even in the B2B sector, just imagine that you're having one number that is flashed across the country for maybe hiring, or maybe for selling your product, or maybe you're selling a car, and one number is flashed across the country. The guy calls, your interested prospect calls, and he starts talking in Hindi or Tamil. And during the conversation, it starts connecting him to the nearest office which is probably in Tamil Nadu,
Hmm.
right? I think that these are all seamless experiences that can be built out. I think it's very powerful. But without wasting time, I would love to get into the quiz. Sal, over to you.
Yeah, sure. So now I think it's time to play a small quiz. So as Varun mentioned earlier, there will be 5 lucky winners who will be eligible to win a gift voucher. So I think we can start with the quiz. So there will be just 5 questions. I think you will be able to see on the screen.
The first question, yeah, which deep learning models are commonly used in Gen AI?
That's I think little hard question.
It's a little hard question, and honestly, we have not given um
Options.
options options because we wanted you to think a bit, or you can also Google. You can go and ask ChatGPT. Please feel free. Just watching you.
I think it will be hard to win gift with this type of questions.
All right. So another 30 seconds for all of you guys to answer.
Okay, which of the following is the best suited in terms of accuracy of the answer? Actually, that's a very good question.
And we
So
have
there,
covered it. We have
yeah,
covered it in our topic today.
yes, we have covered it. So there are LLMs, there are small language model also, and there are NLP also.
So guys, remember there are three things, three axes in which you should think about while you think about answering in terms of Gen AI: speed, accuracy, and cost. Models keep varying, moving towards either speed or cost or accuracy, and your organization needs to choose the apt one for you. Maybe you want to incline towards cost, maybe you want to incline towards accuracy, or maybe you want to incline towards speed, or maybe it should be a right mix of the same. Okay, so another 20 seconds for you guys to answer while we move on to the next question. That's going to be the third question. We have 5 questions totally. 5 questions, 5 lucky winners. And all the other questions are multiple choice questions. I mean, sorry, single choice questions. You're going to have options, so don't worry. All right, I think we should move on to the next one in the interest of time, because we have some question and answer sessions as well.
Yeah, I think it's there.
All
Which
right.
of the following are most cost effective?
Yeah, so we talked about accuracy. The next is which of the following are the most which of the following are or is the most cost effective model? I wish I could participate.
Same.
Another 20 to 30 seconds for everyone to answer. All right, moving on to the fourth question. Prompt engineering is the method by which, and the options follow. So what is prompt engineering? All of you guys would have definitely heard about prompt. We have not talked about it today. We did talk about prompt injection and stuff, but what is prompt engineering?
Actually, we did. We talked about guard railing. So
Got it.
guard railing is related to prompt engineering. So, and prompt engineering is really required for an LLM to perform better in a certain manner for a certain flow.
Yeah, don't give away the answer. So we will definitely be announcing the winners through email. So we are receiving a lot of responses, a lot of a lot of responses to the quiz, a lot of correct answers. We'll be fair to all participants. Okay, we have the I think the last
Last
question,
question.
which is a true true and false question. So spin the bottle. Exotel chatbot can integrate with the customer backend to execute actions on behalf of the customer. We talked about this as well. So there will be 5 winners, and you would get your gift vouchers as well. All winners will be announced through email. Probably we'll be putting it up on our LinkedIn as well. So stay tuned for that. All right. I think we have covered all the questions.
Right.
So just, Sahil, we covered all the questions that we wanted to, right?
Correct. We have covered all the 5 questions.
Perfect. And as I told in the beginning, we didn't really want to take 2 hours of your time. We wanted to try to cover some of the main topics in 60 minutes. The whole idea is that we want to get you educated on generative AI, how it can contribute to the growth of your business. And we have a series of these sessions planned. The Exotel team will be announcing that on our social media pages. And, I would request all of you guys to stay tuned. You all are business leaders. You should totally understand how you can unleash the power of generative AI. Today it's voice AI, tomorrow will be something else. Now, meanwhile, if any of you want to experience this in the products that you're using with Exotel today, as Sahil mentioned, our stack is completely generative AI powered bottoms up. So if you want to experience this, if you want to get a taste of this, if you want to play around with this, please reach out to any of the folks in CX. You can, your respective customer success managers, your respective account directors, please feel free to reach out to them. We are also going to post a number over here, which is where you can reach out to, and we'd be happy to help you out. In fact, we'll be able to sit down with you and figure out the best way to pilot with GenAI, so that you don't, it's as we told, you should be mindful about how to implement it and how you should go about it. So we have an entire team that works on generative AI, the best practices, the ethical considerations, everything. So we'd be happy to work with you on this, sit down with you, and discover what's the first use case, what's the second use case, and expand it up. So
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining in advance. Congratulations to all the winners from my side. I hope all of you guys have found this session very insightful. I hope it wasn't as boring as we thought it was, but hopefully you guys are going to be now much more informed about generative AI. It is dynamic. It's an ever evolving field. Some of you guys must have heard about Google Gemini that's got up after ChatGPT 4 came in. It's innovating. It's a space that's innovating at rocket speed. So thank you, everyone. By the way, before Sahil, you say thank you, I forgot we have the question and answers to take up. So we are going to take up some more questions, and I'm sorry for that. I missed that out. Namrata, thank you for reminding me about that. So, Sahil, there is a question on, in terms of cost effectiveness, how does generative AI reduce the cost compared to traditional support? And I think this is with regards to Gen AI augmenting support.
Yeah. Okay. So see, there will be some additional cost with the Gen AI, but it will obviously reduce your traditional support, let's say agent overhead and multiple things. So it will reduce a significant cost that you are getting per call via the live agent. You get a way less cost with the generative AI model. The best part with Exotel is that we have an intelligent layer that actually decide which LLM to choose to answer. So you won't get a big bill for the Gen AI. So yeah.
And team, in fact, we have worked out a calculator that will help you figure out what's the cost saving in terms of manpower reduction, etc., when you deploy generative AI. Now, obviously, this depends on the use case that you are deploying Gen AI for, right? So when you discuss this with the Exotel team, they will walk you through the entire process. They will help you calculate the broad numbers. How does it look like? How does it help reduce my cost, the overall support cost, so I can deploy those manpowers to do much better things, right? So please come and talk to us. We'd love to, discuss this along with you. All right, I'm just taking this from top. So we talked about distribution channels. Okay, okay, I think this is a very important question. How are you handling data security when the LLM is not on-prem, it's on the cloud? Very
That's
important.
a that's a very good question. And see, before LLM, we have our application in place. So let's say whenever user is talking over chat, over voice, over anything, so we it goes to our application, right? Which can obviously develop on-prem. Now, what we'll do is we detect all the PII data, all the sensitive data, let's say email, PAN card, Aadhaar card, phone number, and we mask that. So we mask all the PII data before sending it to the LLM. And also, this LLM model is on, let's say, on cloud, but it's deployed in India. So the data will not go outside India. Now, when we mask the data, so no sensitive data is actually going to the LLM, and it is not getting trained on those data. So that's how we actually handle data security. So we make sure that all the sensitive data will be masked before sending it to the LLM to generate a response.
Yeah. So, team, there are three important points. One, PII information is not shared with in our case, PII information is not shared with the LLM on the cloud. Secondly, as Sal told, we mask or encrypt the data that is financial in nature, that's specific to your company. So that's the second piece. So these are two very important points that you should consider while thinking about data security and privacy. All right. Okay. This is another interesting question. How will voice Gen AI significantly impact outbound calls, given that the individuals often disconnect the call when they encounter an automated voice message? Very, very good question. Firstly, when I
Actually,
get called, I disconnect the call immediately.
no, I think that's a very good question. Now, we are working on a very humanized voice also. So it's on our roadmap. So we are working on it so that it won't, let's say, user won't feel like a bot is talking. Instead, a real agent is talking. So we are finding some ways to do it. It's on our roadmaps, and soon you will hear a humanized voice in a humanized manner instead of a robotic voice that user generally find irritating.
And
Yeah.
team, there's also if you look at how human conversations happen, right? There are a couple of important pieces. Interruption, um, sentences as a broken down, right? Even if you look at a bot talking to you over chat and versus a human chatting with you, there are key differences. And our R&D team is actually looking at some of these patterns and bringing out the humanized feeling for our bots. So that's the way we are looking at um, cracking this problem. We are a little away from solving it 100%, but with the speed at which innovation is happening, I think this is going to be history soon.
Not just this, I will like to add one more point, slangs. So
Yeah.
when we talk about slangs, so with different languages, there are different slangs, different type of way to talk. So we are working on that as well. So not just English, let's say in Hindi, there are certain words, keywords that pronounce in a different way, like a human pronounce. So we are working on that as well. So stay tuned for that as well.
So the next question, can voice bot, or I'm going to call it voice assist, can the voice assistant evolve and equip itself with the frequently asked questions? Interesting.
Yes, and that's the best part of generative AI. So I think we have talked about feedback loop, which is a bot is learning from the conversation that it is having. So that's a biggest, let's say, USP, or let's say biggest point of using Gen AI, that is actually learn from the conversation that it is having with the customer, so that it improves more and more and more with the prompt, let's say, we have provided on which the data has been trained on. So it knows that multiple users are finding this answer useful. So whenever someone is asking it, it will just go with that tone and with that similarity. So it learns from the conversation, from each and every conversation that it is having with the end user.
Thank you, Sal. Stanzi, which is Standard Chartered Bank, had this voice authorization process on customer service numbers, and they recently went about stopping this. Any idea what challenges they faced and how generative AI will be able to solve this? Will be a solution. I think they're talking about voice fingerprint and authorizations.
Okay, I think voice authorization processes, people generally think it's just a simple flow-based flow that it can be deployed on a traditional voice bot, and a user can talk to it and get the voice authorization and something. But I think it needs more of a humanized manner. So where I think GenAI can help it out. The challenges, what I can think of is less humanized and maybe able to talk or behave in a certain manner. That might be the issue that they have faced. But happy to know more about it.
Yeah, I think it's been voice authorization has such we have not got into it too much because it's a space that is still I think it has to evolve over time. So
Correct.
we're not really got to it. Okay, is blockchain okay, maybe does blockchain come in the picture of generative AI models?
Actually, no. So blockchain and GenAI are completely different technologies. In blockchain, you must have seen there are multiple blocks which can help finding transaction and everything. Generative AI is a subset of AI which trained on neural network and multiple things there, trained on multiple data sets, structured, unstructured. So they are totally different.
So, and the last question for the day, could you explain the summarization of a conversation and what's the required usage? Maybe I think they're talking about the use case. Why is summarization required? Sal, I think we should. So, okay, maybe I can take this up. So, and Sal, please feel free to add. So what we have done at Exotel is Exotel powers conversations. Now that conversations can be either through voice or it can be through messages. And when the handoff happens to different people, or when there's an audit, or when there is a context that needs to be derived from these conversations, it's probably very humanly not possible to go through the entire conversation history. And that's where summarization comes in, where we, in our systems, we feed that to our GenAI models and we summarize the entire conversation so that someone who's viewing this, let's say a ticket or a historic conversation, is able to quickly understand what's the summary of the conversation up until now, and then formulate how he's going to interact with the customer going forward. On top of this, we are also looking at providing insights. So you might be able to say, give keywords to the Exotel system saying that, let's say diabetes, let's say you're a medical insurance company, diabetes, thyroid, etc., hair loss, etc., and filter out all the conversations where these things were talked about, right? So we figure out the insights from the conversations. That's the other thing. And the third part is sentiments. Now you can think about multiple use cases when you talk about summarization, insights, and sentiment. But we believe that with these kind of add-ons and the power of generative AI, businesses will figure out how to derive more value from all the conversations that's happening in their ecosystem. And that's why primarily we believe at Exotel that all of our stack should be GenAI powered.
Correct. I think, yeah, just imagine agent going through all the previous chat just to get what user is saying instead of just getting a summarization that user is facing this problem. So it will be a quick response time from the agent as well.
Yeah, quality monitoring of agents, for example.
Yeah, quality monitoring for agent. So I think that's all for the Q&A. Feel free to reach out with any questions or thoughts. This is just round one, as Varun has said. We will have multiple more sessions like this on GenAI, and we will love to host you again.
So guys, stay tuned. And if you have any questions, any thoughts, please feel free to drop us a note. We will, you know where to reach out to us. hello@exotel.com. I am available at varun@exotel.com. Sahil is available. So please feel free to reach out to us, drop us a ping, share with us your thoughts on how generative AI can help you. If you want demos, please feel free to reach out to your CX person, or please feel free to reach out to your account director. They'd be more than happy to entertain you.
Yeah, also there would be a survey at the end. So when you go from here, there will be a survey link that you will be redirected to. So feel free to share your feedback or feel free to add any question. We would love to connect with you and discuss it.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone.